Brooklyn Independent Television.
The Kentler International Drawing Space boasts an amazing roster of innovative artists, including their current artists in residence, Mary Ting and Ilene Sunshine.
I'm Florence Neal, and I'm now the director, but I co-founded the Kentler International Drawing Space here in Red Hook in 1990. I'm an artist, and the focus of this gallery is drawings and works on paper by New York artists, but also international artists. And the first thing that we moved into the front space of the gallery is a small, intimate space. And we wanted the community of Red Hook and the community of New York to have access to these artist works. I came to Red Hook from the area of Dumbo, and I think it was 1987, and this area was really rough and neglected a bit. We loved it. We loved the community surrounded by water and air and light, and the fact that it was a community. In Dumbo at that time, it was a community of artists, but you didn't have a long history of a community. Well, a nonprofit gives a very unique experience for artists. We want Kentler to be a place where artists can experiment with their work and do things that might not necessarily be with sales in mind. We still are trying to reach out to people that don't know what a gallery is, and we have an education program, and we work with the local schools, and they come to the exhibitions, and then they do a workshop, and then we follow it up in their classrooms. They're really proud that it's becoming a part of this community. We've invited Ilene Sunshine and Mary Ting to create site-specific drawings in the spaces, and they're using their own work, their own unique materials to do that.
I'm working on an installation at the Kentler International Drawing Space, and my work is in fact quite a bit about this sort of hybrid between drawing and sculpture. And I'm most interested in space, and in many ways negative space, which is, to my mind, the air that we move and walk through. I use different materials, often tree branches and discarded Christmas trees, string, to make form in space. And so then I hope the resulting objects or forms have a kind of palpable presence made out of air. The name of the exhibition, my exhibition at Kentler, is Out of Line, and when one enters, this is the first piece that you would see, and to my mind it sort of establishes the motif in the whole show, which is that all of these sculptural objects, one could see it that way, but they're really drawings in space, and they're made out of all different permutations of line. It was radically reduced from many, many strands, and I was working in process to this just very minimal sort of two parallel lines that stretch from floor to ceiling. And then one turns to this other piece called Florence's Mulberry Speaks French, and it is, at first glance, a mattress, springs that were taken from the street. The shadow becomes an essential part of the project, and there's this intimation, a sort of hint of 5 mulberry leaves from Florence's tree. And now we'll move on to the next piece, which is called 98 Degrees. This piece, 98 Degrees, was to a certain degree inspired by this huge big branch that I got when some city workers were trimming branches from the park. With the cast shadow, it does create a kind of wedge shape, the entire drawing. So in lots of my work, there's a collaboration between me and the natural objects. And now we move on to a piece called In Mind. This is a piece that, sort of beginning of this show, when I was preparing for it. This is all from discarded Christmas trees. In fact, when I finally got it installed, I thought it's so interesting with those little green tags. But in the end, I thought it would be an interesting thing, since the piece was about thinking and thought process, that I would leave the tags. This has a kind of sister or companion piece in the front corner, and it's called Nevermind, and it sort of is about other kinds of thought processes. And this piece here is called Nevermind, And it is mostly composed out of fragments of pieces that didn't work. And I thought that it would be an interesting companion, and to sort of have it contrast to this corner piece called Nevermind, which is that whole other aspect of thinking, which is one thought leads to the next and one cancels out the other, and it's kind of a bit more of a jumble, and it doesn't seem as much of a system.
My name is Mary Ting, and I'm a visual artist, and I've been practicing since the mid-'80s, making everything from installation to sculpture, video, photography. But I would say the link to all of it is a certain way of thinking, and the underlining thought process is via drawing. A lot of the work has these abstract narratives behind it, stories. A lot of it is a mixture of cultural metaphors too as well. Nonprofits offer you something that commercial spaces don't, and in particular with Kentler, each space has its own particulars, and that's part of the whole process. It does affect how you make the work too.
I came to know the Kentler because just through artist friends, we sort of, amongst ourselves realized this was a place that was really supporting, pushing the boundaries of drawing, really, really in rich ways. That was something that I felt completely sympathetic to in my own work, that the boundaries between painting, drawing, sculpture, of course they were very porous, and the Kentler really wanted to support that.
We love for you to come visit us. We also have a flat files of work by over 160 artists that we're really proud of, and that helps us to make more work of drawing works on paper accessible to people.
Brooklyn Independent Television on the BCAN TV network.